everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the HHN34 podcast. And I think this is the one we've all been waiting for. Dun, dun, dun. This is our Hype List episode for HHN34. And we're all here today.
Woohoo!
So, Gary, how are you, my friend?
I am good. I've been slightly dreading this episode whilst being excited at the same time. Been doing this 6 years now, and Ash is still having computer issues, so we've got them sorted, and
thank God.
I'm excited.
Good, good. We're going to start fighting in about 5 minutes. Liz, good morning. I know this is the awful hour for you, but good morning.
You know, this is the way to do it. Tell me you're going to have to record at 7:30 and then change it to 9, because then I'm happy about 9. So you figured out the pattern.
You're welcome.
But yes, good morning. I am excited to start my day with fighting with 3 of my closest friends.
Love it. And then finally, Ash, the green toxic guy going on there with the green lighting behind you. What's up, buddy? Good morning.
Morning, Tim. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I love this episode. I always like to give the public my correct hype list every year.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
He's starting already.
I'm ready.
Starting it already. Okay, so if you guys have listened to our hype episodes in the past, we rank our houses and our scare zones and our shows. So the only thing that's going to be a little bit different this year is the zone portion of it, because we have included the street experiences in with this year. So we'll have the 4 scare zones and the 2 street experiences in that. Other than that, I think it's basically going to be the same. We're going to go from, least hyped to most hyped, and we're going to fight and we're going to brawl. And it'd be great if we were in the same room, because then we could just throw stuff at each other. It'd just be a lot of fun. Are we ready to get into this, guys?
No, yes, no.
No, yeah.
Ready?
Listen, we're gonna ease into it, because I feel like we're all gonna be on the same page. So we're gonna start off with the shows, and we're gonna rank them because there's only 2 of them. So we'll start with Mr. Gary. So at your number 2 show for your hype list is?
I don't want to do this discredit, but it has to be Nightmare Fuel. One reason is the other show is making its most anticipated return. So everyone is, I'm sure, excited for that. And I've never actually seen Nightmare Fuel. I know as a Horror Nights fan that is pretty bad. We've discussed this before in the past, but it's just the whole queuing up thing, and it does take a huge chunk out of your night. So, if the houses and zones are your priority, it is pretty hard to fit this in, but this is why it's at number 2.
100%. We actually just talked about that on the live the other night, about how like a time killer this is, lining up to it, then actually watching it, and then getting out of it. So totally understandable. All right, Liz, what about you?
Same thing. I think just because the other show is going to be new. So, and I'm also someone that has never seen Nightmare Fuel. So I know I have friends that want to drag me. They're like, no, this is the year. Maybe it will be. Maybe I will break my streak this year. I'm happy for all the fans who love it, but I'm more excited for the other show.
Fair. And then Ash, who I think has seen that show before. What do you have at number 2?
I have Nightmare Fuel at number 2. So the same as everybody else. I think it's just a case of the other one, the Lagoon Show, coming back from a little hiatus that everyone's pumped, and everybody has fond memories of the Lagoon Show. So yeah, Nightmare Fuel is number 2 for me.
Outstanding. And for me, it is also number 2, Nightmare Fuel. Basically, nothing to add at what everybody else has said. I've never seen it as well. And I'm sure I will get, slack for that from all the fans. And I do understand. One of these times I will see it. But again, I'd rather be in zones and houses. But that's just me. So
say, look, no fighting.
No fighting, because I said to Gary before we started this, I will be shocked if our shows don't line up. So
shall we stop now then? We're all on the same page.
That's it. Well, great show,
everyone. We're done. We don't even have to fight.
Yeah.
No, everyone's here to watch us fight. And listen to us fight. Yeah. That's why they want to watch.
So we'll just make this a collective. We all have Ghoulish at number 1, the Lagoon Show for this year. Just like Ash said, I'm very excited that the Lagoon Show is back. It's just they do such a great job with it. So the music's always on point. You know, I love the projection, the map projections on the buildings too. So it's just awesome. And in the water, it's really cool. So what about you, Gary? You excited about this one coming back?
I am, yeah, because the last time Ghoulish was at the event, it was short-lived. You know, the hurricane ruined the fountain system. I only actually got to see it once, and it didn't gel with me the first time because Marathon of Mayhem Volume 1 was such a big show and that shocked everyone. And I think the IPs that year helped push it along a little bit as well. That I didn't really get to appreciate what Ghoulish was. So I know Ghoulish is more of a storytelling than just the IPs and stuff. So I'm hoping we get some really cool story along with the projections this year. So I am excited to see it come back.
Awesome. Liz, how about you?
Yeah, I didn't get to see Ghoulish. I was one of those people that decided to wait through the hurricane, and then of course the hurricane happened, and so I never got to see it in person. So I'm going to make this a priority to see early on. I am very excited for the Lagoon show. I love that you can just pop in. You don't have to spend a lot of time, and I think this year is interesting because we don't really know what direction they're going to go with it. So I'm very curious to see what the storyline will be. And hopefully it brings back some of those vibes from the original show that we love so much.
Yes. And then Ash, how about you? What about your thoughts on Ghoulish?
Yeah, just to echo everybody else's thoughts. I mean, they sort of topped themselves the first year. Ironically, I've got 29 t-shirt on, and I saw Gary's 29 cup that he had a second ago. So yeah, it's like they started off with a bang, and it's sort of, nothing can really top that. But I'm looking forward to it. I think what Gary said, it'd be more of like a Halloween story rather than the IPs be displayed out there. I hope I'm wrong. I do hope we have some of the IPs displayed and maybe some of the music for the IPs, because that's what works so well with 29. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good.
Agreed. I hope it's kind of a mix. I hope we get, the IPs and the originals. I just want everything in there. I just throw it all in. Just big crazy stew, whatever it is. And the only thing that I hope is fixed from last time, and I know you guys laughed at me saying that the music was too loud. It wasn't that it was too loud. It was too loud that it was like popping and just not sounding clearly. Me being old.
I agree with what you said. I 100% knew what you meant. This is a live show reference if you weren't there, but it was just the combination of you complaining about the crowds and getting kicked out of a scare zone, and now the noise. Get off my lawn! Yeah. It was just all accumulating there for you.
Oh my gosh! All right, so there it is. There's our hype list for the shows. So we all have Nightmare Fuel at number 2, and then number 1 we have Ghoulish. I like I said, I did not think that we would have a different list on that. Any last thoughts about any of the shows or anything before we move on to the scare zones and street experiences? No? All right. Now we're moving on. All right. So this year we decided to include the street experiences in with the scare zones instead of like having them ranked separately. We thought maybe this would be a little more fun to do. So now we have 6 spots to rank. So let's go the other way. Ash, start us off with your number 6.
Yeah, so I have chosen one of the experiences as my number 6, and I've gone for Mel's Dying Zombies. I think it's just for the unknown aspect of it. I don't know how it's going to work. Will it be timed? The weather at Halloween Horror Nights, so when it's raining out, they ain't going to be out. I mean, I guess that's the case for most zones. But I feel like even if it's wet on the ground, are they still going to do it for safety, things like that? So, yeah, I'm going to take that as my number 6, just more of the unknown than anything.
Excellent. I like that. All right, Liz, let's kick it over to you for your number 6.
Yeah, my number 6 is going to be Club Horror, mainly because I don't think it's going to have scare actors. I think it might just have go-go dancers and a DJ. And while I am okay with the idea for that San Fran area to not be a full scare zone, to just be a party zone, hopefully get people just walking through, pushing through, getting out of the way, I can't say I'm excited for it or really anticipating it. I feel like it's just going to be something that I just go and experience and like, okay, that was that. Moving on.
All right. That's fair. All right, Gary, how about you at number 6?
This is going to shock you all, I think, a bit based on construction updates and stuff, but I have Origins of Horror, the
Wow.
the entrance scare zone.
All right.
Now, my reason for this is we have been fooled before with amazing set pieces in this area, and we have all had it high on our hype lists before this location due to what has been there, but it often falls short of what looks like as promised. Now, I'm hoping I'm going to be sitting here at the end of the season saying I was totally wrong and that it was an amazing zone, because the props do look really, really good, but being that entrance zone always worries me location-wise. But we do now have it going right the way up illumination past Minions, so maybe that'll help dilute some of the congestion and traffic a little bit. So again, I hope at the end of the season I'm here wrong, but that is my number 6 currently.
Nice. I like that reasoning too. And I am very excited that they have extended it way down again this year. So, all right, my number 6, I am actually with Liz. I have Club Horror as my number 6, and it's not because I don't want this. I think this is going to be just a fun vibe. It's going to be great. My only concern is that it's going to be even like more super crowded, especially with a beer truck there. So people trying to get drinks, people trying to dance and have a good time and just chill out to the DJ. I agree with Liz. I don't think there's going to be scare actors. I think it's going to be go-go dancers as well. I'm all for this. I'm all for new stuff and having street experiences and, not over scare zones, but plus scare zones. So that's the only reason it's at number 6 for me. So, all right, we're going to number 5 and we'll go back the other way. So Gary, what is at your number 5?
My number 5 is Club Horror. As much as you guys know that I love, like dance music and stuff like that, it's just the unknown. It is a pretty hard area to pull off in terms of scare zone. They've had some pretty good zones there before that have always struggled due to the traffic. Rob Zombie was a music zone, which was basically a version, it had dancers and stuff on podiums, with his music playing, and it was still always crowded. But again, just because I've never had anything or experienced anything like this at Horror Nights before, it has to be number 5 for me.
All right, cool. All right, Liz, what about you at number 5?
Yeah, I had to move my list over. I was like, my list on my computer was the wrong one. I'm like, what am I looking at? It is number 5, Mel's Dying Zombies for me, because again, I'm gonna leave the scare zones kind of as their own experience, because I think we're gonna get a lot more out of the scare zones. But I'm still excited for this one and the possibility. Not quite sure how it's gonna work. If it's gonna have little mini shows, how long they're out there. So it's the unknown of it that's leaving it at number 5 for me. I think I'm very excited for the content, unsure of the execution.
All right, that's fair. All right, Ash, what about you? What do you have at number 5?
I'm same as Liz, but the opposite way around. I've got Club Horror for number 5. I think Liz hit it there. I think with the street experiences and the unknown, apart from like a full-blown scare zone, I thought they had to go 6 and 5 for me. The reason I did Club Horror above Mel's is because going back to Halloween Horror Nights, it was always, dying for a good Halloween party. It was always the sort of shows on the streets and having a good time. And I'm just picturing, having a beer, watching a DJ, looking at dancers and just having a good time. Sort of like how Billy Deluxe was. That was a good time too. So that's the reason it's a little bit higher than Mel's.
That's fair. It's a good comparison too. All right, my number 5. I'm scared me and Liz have the same list going on today so far. So I have Mel's Dying Zombies at number 5 as well. And it's kind of the same reasoning. It's more of the unknown with the street experiences, because at least I have not experienced any of that. But I also think this one above Club Horror is more of a scare zone-ish, if you will, than Club Horror, because obviously that's just going to be a party. And again, I think it's going to be a great time. But I'm kind of excited. And then Ash, you posted the video last night or whatever about at the pass holder event last night about like the skaters were out there in front of Mel. So maybe that is a warm up for a couple weeks, right?
What you Yeah.
All right. So, moving on to number 4. I'll go first this time. Number 4, I have the Origins of Horror at number 4. Gary kind of hit on it already. So my concern is that opening scare zone in the last few years has been kind of weak. It is a good sign though that they have extended down further, which they used to do years ago, which is great. And we have been fooled before. Is this going to be the selfie zone again? We'll see. But I'm still excited for it. I think the area is starting to look really cool with the little bus stops and the stained glass flowers and stuff inside of it. And, obviously there's going to be statues of the IPs and stuff like that. So very exciting. And can't wait to see what other characters are going to be in this zone. So, Ash, what about you at number 4?
Number 4, I have Masquerade Dance with Death. I know vampires were a little played out at Halloween Horror Nights, but I do like them. I do like we may have a more serious take on them rather than a little bit more campy than we've had recently. The set pieces look good and the props look good. My only issue with Hollywood is it's been one of the better zones recently, for sure. But Hollywood is usually your sort of 4 or 5 stages where you have somebody on there and then roaming scare actors connected to each sort of stage, which does get a little samey sometimes. The set pieces look great, though. I love the stained glass behind each stage, too. It really fits the theme in. I do like the cemetery gates either side, almost bookends it nicely. But yeah, I'm a little bit tired of vampires, but I'm still excited. I just had to go 4 out of the 4 we're getting.
That's fair. All right, Liz, what about your number 4?
All right, this is where we differ, Tim.
All right.
My number 4 is Toxic 20s.
Ooh, okay.
Now, let me preface by saying I'm excited for all 4 scare zones. So this is not any sort of knock on Toxic 20s. I love the little set pieces that they've put out there. I think the concept is fun. I think maybe it should have just been Toxic 20s and maybe not the full name. But other than that, I think all the little vignettes that they've put up are going to be great. I think I probably have the least idea of what the scare actors are going to look like in this zone. So maybe that's why it's at my number 4, because I assume there's going to be mobsters and mutants and stuff, but I just can't quite visualize having that many of them out there because there's so many scare actors in that zone. So what variety are we going to get? So
sure, that's fair.
That's why it's my number 4.
We probably will get just what you said, but maybe regular actors too, just walking around.
Victims.
Victims,
Yeah.
exactly. So, all right, Gary, let's knock it over to you for what your number 4 is.
My number 4 is Masquerade Dance with Death. Like Ash said, it's vampires is a little bit monotonous now. We've had them quite a while. I do like that they've chosen a different style of vampire and not just the vamp through the years. We're getting a sort of Phantom of the Opera type vamp vibe. Hollywood is the perfect sort of area for it. I am looking forward to it. I just hope it doesn't end up being a sort of Festival of the Deadliest type thing that we had in Hollywood a few years ago. So I've put that middle of the table because I am intrigued enough to want to go and spend some time in there.
Excellent. All right, we're moving into the top 3 now. Liz, let's start with you. What is your number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is Origins of Horror. So I have the same critique at the front zone that you guys have. This year, I am holding out optimism because we have so many set pieces. And although that shirt that just came out that says Origin of Horrors and has the different characters on it has me now a little concerned, it's still going to be an entrance zone with a variety of characters. I'm hoping more it's going to be the theme of the event zone. So more of just the gothic characters, the crows, and not include the other ones. And I just love the fact that we're getting it stretched all the way through to the plaza now. And I hope that it's filled with actors and we truly have a really good, solid entrance zone for this year.
Excellent. All right. Ash, what about you? What do you got at 3?
Same as Liz. I have Origins of Horror. I think Liz hit it perfectly there. I think I'm a little concerned about the entrance zone having maybe the table of contents, and something from each zone again, as opposed to just its own theming. Just to hit on what Gary said as well, the fact that it's going down all the way down Production Central is a massive, massive win. I cannot wait to see the IP statues and how they're going to look. I think that will incorporate nicely into it. And yeah, I'm just really, really looking forward to this one, but I hope it's just not a table of contents zone.
Gotcha. All right, Gary, let's push it to you for number 3.
My number 3 is the Mel's Zombie Roller Skaters. I can't remember the official name, but I'm excited to see it. I want some more experiences rather than just scare zones. I know it's harder and harder every year to think of a scare zone theme, so to drop a scare zone and have a couple more experiences, I'm really excited to see how this pans out. I do have the same worries as you guys, though, with the rain and wet and people swarming them. How safe is it going to be? Is it going to be an area barricaded off, like when Marilyn Monroe plays there during the day? I think I would rather see that and then see a little sort of performance and then, them disappear where I can just pass by with a drink and watch for 5 minutes. But I'm excited to see it because the theming's really good, perfect location, and I love the merch that they dropped last year for it as well.
Excellent. All right, my number 3 is Masquerade, Dance with Death. I'm kind of with Ash, like maybe the vampire theme is a little played out, but I'm still kind of excited for this. The sets are looking fantastic out there, and I know the scare actors are going to bring it, so that's why I'm going to leave it at number 3. I have a feeling this one could bump up a little bit, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys, we got 2 more to go in this. So I'll take number 2. Number 2 is Toxic 20s. I don't like the mutation, so I'm not going to use it. I think this is just going to be an absolute fun scare zone. Between the mobsters, the mutant mobsters, the victims. New York is such a huge area for them to cover that they could do so much in. So I'm really hoping that we do get like so many scare actors, and it's just going to be absolutely just a fun time in this zone. I don't feel like this is going to be scary. I feel like this is just going to be a fun zone. So that's my number 2. Gary, let's go back to you. What's your number 2?
Number 2, I have the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane. So happy that the pumpkins are back. So happy we are getting, vintage Halloween. I really loved seeing that at Horror Nights. We had Twisted Traditions, Trick or Treat. I love that vibe. The props in this zone are really good. I love that they've put the big house at the end of it, at the end of Crooked Lane. But it's just now that Central Park is so busy that it's very hard now to stand and enjoy that zone. So I don't know whether putting that huge prop at the end and some smaller stuff in, in Central Park will help. Where you can just sort of vibe and have a chill out in there will help. But just so glad the pumpkins are back.
Yes, totally understand the concerns because I don't want to be pushed out of that zone at all. I want to hang out in this one. Liz is laughing. Liz, go to number 2. What's your number 2?
I never would have thought that about you, Tim. My number 2 is Masquerade. So everyone knows I love my vampires, right? Everyone knows I lived at Coconut because I love my vampires. And I am excited to have a vampire zone that is going to be more serious, more scary, a different vibe than the vamp franchise that they created, the last 3 vamp zones. Yes, I do 100% understand the oversaturation, but I think I'm excited because it's a more serious take, a branch away. I love the stages. I can't wait to see the costumes. I'm curious to see what the music's going to be in here. And I think this is going to be a really good scare zone to find a bench and just watch.
Love people watching.
I have a side question for you, Liz, with this one. Do you think we could see some Midnight Syndicate music? Because I think out of all the zones, I think that would be perfect place to host them.
I would love that because that's such an old Horror Nights standby, and it's been a while since we've kind of heard that in the parks. I would love that.
Because I think they did some new music for Horror Unleashed. I think I read.
They did.
So maybe they could have done something for us this year.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Good call. All right, Ash, what do you have at number 2?
2, I have the Gabagools. I have the Toxic 20s. Really, really looking forward to this one. I'm loving all the props and set pieces. What I really, really like about this zone 2 is it's going to tell a story. So, the bank robbers are trying to get away. There's a crash. There's a spillage. and I think that's going to play out nicely in the zone too. A couple of parts intrigue me. There is a stage with like a video screen on it. Are they going to be playing like newspaper reels maybe, or are they going to be playing like old timey sort of TV? Are they going to be playing like the TV on there, on like how it played out, like a news report maybe? I love the newspapers around there, and then down Sting Alley we also have the sort of toxic green paint down there too. So I'm wondering, is that going to be sort of like a secret speakeasy? How we've used that, I think it may incorporate into that zone too. So yeah, this zone intrigues me a lot, and I think it's going to be a nice story running through it.
All right, so now we're down to the number one zone. And I think three of us have the same, and Gary does not. So, Gary, what do you have at your number one?
Ash just explained my number one perfectly with Toxic 20s. I just love the theming of this. It reminds me of a bit like, you know, when we had Invasion, it was just such a campy, fun zone. I know Liz will appreciate that nod. And especially seeing the decorations down Sting Alley as well. I also thought about the speakeasy. And I don't know if we've been getting hints of this for a while now, but the Orlando Informer event have been having like a speakeasy with that sort of theme in their event. So I don't know whether Horror Nights have sort of pinched that idea or took it and ran with it. But I would love like a little thing like that, because you do have to say a password to get into it, which I think is really, really cool. So I'm very excited to see how this zone plans out.
Awesome. All right, and then for me, Ash, and Liz, we have the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane at number one. Is that correct? If I've done my math correctly.
Just stealing my thunder, Tim. How are they going to know?
I mean, come on now. This area looks so great. My only concern, we've already talked about, is just being pushed out of this zone. I want to be able to soak this in. Pumpkins in the tree, the Cat Lady house at the end. Everything looks so cool. The storybook pages that are up there. I don't know. This screams like traditional Halloween to me, and I'm sure it does to you guys. So, Ash, I'll pass it to you first.
Yeah. Everything just looks phenomenal. It's so busy in the actual Central Park street bit itself. It's just so busy. There's things everywhere. Pumpkins in the trees, and it's all sort of getting to that finale. The house at the end of the street, which that's so busy too. There's so many decorations on there. Now, I know people have said, I'm glad the pumpkins have been away for a while because we missed them and they've come back. No, you don't, because 27 and 28 pumpkins in the trees, amazing both years, right, for Trick or Treat and Twisted Tradition. And then what happened? We've been off and off and off and off on that zone for a while, and then everybody's hyped again when there's pumpkin in the trees. So keep them there. This should be, you can mix it up and do whatever with it. This should be your traditional Halloween zone every single year, but mix it up and do different theming, but just keep it the same-ish. That's why it's number one. It looks amazing. Can't wait.
Nice. Love it. All right, Liz, your thoughts?
I mean, I think you two nailed most of it, but I love how much extra they've put in this zone. Not only just the storybook pages, all the set design that they've done in the normal zone. Then we have like an alley of boo holes plus her hut. There's so much in here. It's going to spread out. It's not just going to be that tiny little area that Tim hates getting rushed through. I hope the fog is extra thick so you guys complain all season about not being able to see. And I can't wait to see like the trick-or-treaters, the kittens, the amount of jokes that are going to come out of this zone. I just think it's perfect. And pumpkins in the trees. You can't get better than that.
Absolutely.
With the story, the story on the placards going down, it made me think, like, could we see something tied to Ghoulish as well? Because obviously Ghoulish is literally right next door, so I know we're going to get sort of an original take and an original story with Ghoulish, but maybe this could tie in because it's the only zone that has the story literally printed out.
Good call, possibly.
Yeah. Right, it's a great point, because they normally do, the last Ghoulish was almost like a Halloween Tale, wasn't it? It was called Ghoulish, was it got a Halloween Tale? Is that what the name was?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Don't know why is it that. Yeah. Yeah, that'd make so much sense if they incorporate that, yeah.
All right, so we're back. We just took a short little break because we needed to fix Ash's audio problem because, you know, he doesn't know how to operate a computer, which is fine. But we think we've got it fixed now, so we're going to get to the houses. Ash, say
The only
hi
guy
to
I know with
everybody
6
again.
laptops.
Hi, everybody. If I never have issues with audio or video, so I'm allowed one a year.
All right. We'll let it slide.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes, and that's the houses. This is where we're all going to start fighting. This is going to be so much fun that I kind of almost want to start off number 10 myself, because I know Ash is going to be like, you're an idiot. So I'm going to do it.
I'm like that anyway, to be fair.
But before starting this, I will say, and I'm pretty sure everybody will agree, this was probably one of the hardest hype lists to put together. I think I changed this 10 million times and was even adjusting this morning. Not happy. So with that being said, that means that this event this year is fantastic, because all these houses, I feel like in the past years I've had one where I was like, yeah, that's definitely going at number 10. I know my number 1, you know, that kind of thing. And I think this was very difficult to do that this year. Do you guys all agree with that?
Gary's unsure, but yes, for me, yes. Yeah, I think
I agree completely.
Yeah, I think this is
cool.
a hard one for sure.
So
I
here
will
we
say
go.
that so when I make my hype list, I always do them in versions. I don't delete when I change the list. I start another
you
list
keep them
underneath,
all, huh?
so I can see how in time it's changed, and I can look back. So I'm up to version 5 at the minute, and I'm still
Okay.
not happy with it. But I've had to lock it in for now.
You know what? I've changed my mind. Gary is going to start us off at number 10 because I think I know what his number 10 is.
I think I know too.
So, Gary, start us off. What is your number 10 hyped house?
So before I haven't said anything yet. So before I get this out, I just want to say I am mega happy for everybody who is a fan of this property. It's just not for me. That's fine. There's other stuff for me. There's stuff that you might not like that, you know, I like, and vice versa. But number 10 is WWE. Never really, you know, I watched wrestling when I was young, but I never really stuck with it. I think the last time I watched it, Triple H was the big guy. So I don't know. It's just, it hasn't intrigued us. Hopefully again at the end of the season, you know, I'll eat my words and admit that I'm wrong. But for now, it's the house that I'm least excited for.
That's fair. I mean, I get that. I mean, I think maybe you might have a change of heart after going through this. That's just me. So we'll see what happens. All right, Liz, what do you have at number 10?
So yeah, this was really tough. There's 2 that I think for me weren't necessarily my items, the ones that weren't really made for me. So I kind of went back and forth between those 2 of which one, because I'm kind of interested in both, even though they're not for me. Ultimately, I went with Five Nights at Freddy's as my number 10, especially after watching the movie. I was I think it may have been higher up my list until I watched the movie, and then I was like, oh wait, there's not as much here as I was expecting. I think the game has a lot more suspense than the movie, but I think that said, even though the movie wasn't for me, I think these costumes, the puppets, however they're going to work, the animatronics are going to be really cool to see in person. Very large, probably intimidating. I love the arcade setting, just that, you know, Chuck E. Cheese vibe. I think will be really fun. So even though it's my number 10, I'm still looking forward to seeing it.
Nice. Love it. All right, Ash, what is your number 10, sir?
Yeah, I think we're going to be all over the place here, just with how difficult this is to rank. Gary, you disappoint me a little bit, but I get it. You know, me and you, Tim, we record every year for the past few years with Catacombs, don't we? And Matt hit it perfectly that your hype list is not a... When you come to your rankings at the end, it's not like a haha, I was right about this, or haha, you were wrong about this. It's like, what you are hyped for? Of course, it's going to change when you go through mazes, but it's what you are excited for, which I understand why Gary has that at 10. Anyway, 10 for me, really looking forward to it, but I do have Galkan, Monsters of the North, at 10, or Garaka, Monsters of the North.
I'm ending this show right now.
Okay.
I'm genuine shock.
Yeah, honestly, this was same as Gary. I did the list like 5 times, and I always try to do it separately, then look back on what I did the last time, as opposed to like memorizing it. But I don't know. There's just something about it. I just got a feeling that it's just not going to work. The key art looks cool. I don't know. I don't know. Again, more of the unknown with the originals. I wish Discover Universal would give us a little bit more. We'll get to one that they give us far too much on soon. But it's tough, guys. It's tough. Galkan, Monster of the North is holding up my list. Number 10.
I am shocked.
Oh my, this is insane. This is crazy. That's all right. I'm about to make it even worse.
Okay.
My number 10 is Jason Universe.
Get out.
Okay. I am very excited for this house, though. Just like I had to put something at number 10, right? We all had to put something at number 10. I know who's doing this house. I know who's created it, but I'm still worried about the masks and what we're going to see. I mean, I know we've heard and seen that it's going to be, multiple Jasons over the years, which is great. But I have others that I'm more hyped for and more intrigued about, if that makes sense. Like I said, I'm not mad that Jason Universe is at my number 10. I think it's going to be a great house, but I had to put something at number 10. I'm sorry, Gary, if that offends you.
It generally shocks me because you've never seen Jason at Horror Nights before, so I thought you would have had that mega high, to be honest.
Yes, but I'm also fans of... I guess I'm more fans of other slashers than I am Jason, if
That's
that
fair.
makes sense.
It's fair.
That's all. I'm very excited, though. I can't wait to go through this house. I'm very excited to see it. I'm sorry it's at number 10, everybody, that if I have offended anybody, I apologize. Again, maybe by the end of the year, that is going to jump up on my final rankings list. Right? Okay. We're starting this off with a bang today. All right, number 9. Let's go the opposite way. So, Ash, what do you have at number 9?
Perfect segue, Tim, because I also have Jason Universe pretty low. I have it at 9. Location, for me, you know what's crazy about Jason Universe 2 is Jason is such like a behemoth in terms of like a slasher icon. Nobody's talking about this maze. It is FNAF, WWE, Fallout. Everybody's bigger on the other IPs, it seems, and I don't know if they marketed a little bit more or the fan bases are just crazy for these properties. I think that's probably more to do with it as well. But I'm worried about location. I'm not a big fan of the masks. I've seen Jason before. I am glad it's been, 10 years since we've seen him again. 9 years, 10 years since we've seen him again. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be a riser, but yeah, I just can't put it any higher. It was my 10, but I swapped it with Galkan. But yeah, I'm with you, Tim, down there.
All right, cool. All right, Liz, let's send it over to you for your number 9 house.
My number 9 is going to be Terrifier. This is more to do with the property itself and not necessarily what we've heard about what's going to be in the house. I mean, I do like to stay dry. So maybe that is number 9 because I don't like the idea of coming out of a house soaked like I was on a water ride. So I will be a dry path person, probably the majority of the nights. But I have still only watched the first movie. I intended to watch the second movie last night and then was just too tired. So hopefully this next week I'll finish Terrifier 2 and 3, have a better idea of what to expect in the house. But based on the other items that are coming, this one just had to be number 9 for me.
That's fair. Liz, will you at least go through the Super Soaker side at least once? Just to see it?
I plan to at least once.
Okay.
But I want to be prepared when I do it. So I want to have like specific shoes and a poncho. Yeah.
All right. That's fair. Okay, cool. All right, Gary, sending it over to you for number 9.
My number 9, and nobody's actually mentioned yet, and it is Grave of Flesh. Out of the originals, this was the one that just, you always have that one that you're like, I think this is going to be this year's smelly house. I think we're going to get some horrible flesh stenches and some horrible earthy undertones throughout the house. And, it was a strong year for originals and IPs, so the list changed so many times, but Grave of Flesh was always, in the bottom half, and it had to go to number 9 for the end.
That's fair. All right. I am also with Liz at number 9. I have Terrifier at number 9. I am not a huge fan of the first or second movie. Have not watched the third yet. I will try to get that in before Halloween Horror Nights starts. But this doesn't mean I don't want to go through this house. I'm actually excited to see this house. So This kind of reminds me, and I'm just gonna, compare it to with Gary and House of a Thousand Corpses. Gary hates the movie, not a fan of it. But Gary, you love the house, right?
100%. One of the best houses in ages.
Great. I think this is going to be the same thing for me, where I am not a fan of the movies, but I feel like I am going to really enjoy the house. And I will absolutely do the Super Soaker side and the other side because I just need to see both, But yeah, so for all the Terrifier fans, because I know they're going to have this house up in their top whatever. Again, just not a fan of the movies, but I think the house is going to be absolutely stellar. That's all. So that's why it's at my number 9. All right, moving into number 8. Let's go Liz. Liz, what's at your number 8?
Okay, well, my best friend is going to be really mad at me when I say this, but my number 8 is going to be WWE: The Horrors of the Wyatt Six. Now, this moved to number 8. It may have been my number 10 at the beginning of the season, just by rumors, because I was so confused as to why WWE was coming into Halloween Horror Nights, or what the idea, like a wrestling house, what? But I've done a little homework since then, and I've opened my mind to the possibility of how this could work. And I do think it's going to work. I do have optimism for this one. I don't have a connection to it like a lot of other people that have the fandom. So that's why it's at number 8 for me. But I think this one might be a big surprise for everyone, especially for the people who aren't fans. I think for fans, obviously they're going to be into it. But I think even people that aren't fans are going to be surprised by how this one turns out. That's my optimism.
I agree. Gary, what do you have at number 8?
Number 8, I have Hatchet and Chains. Now, that might be surprising.
Whoa!
I felt like it was one of the weakest rooms in Slaughter Cinema 2. We had the Carey drive-in as the facade. You could have had something cool with that. I've got written down here the top bits I enjoyed of Slaughter Cinema 2. I would have loved to have seen something with the Zyborgs. I loved that. The Santa's workshop room, I think that would have worked amazingly as a house. So if you were going to take something from Slaughter Cinema 2, I would have rather had something else. I understand why we don't have the Mardi Gras, which was heavily rumoured at the start. But there was just so much content in that house. I just found it a weak choice to take Hatchet and Chains.
That's fair.
Wow.
That's fair. Liz is
Sorry, Liz.
We're fighting.
Ooh. Have I gotten everybody for 8?
I haven't gone for 8 yet.
Okay, so Ash, number 8 for you, sir.
WWE.
Yeah, my number 8 is Grave of Flesh. I usually have a lot of the IPs lower and the originals higher, but I'm really hot on the IPs this year. I don't know. I think to me, I would probably like it. It kind of reminds me of like a Nightingale's franchise house, but set in like hell. I can imagine it being sort of that earthy smell, like Darker Steel. Maybe Darker Steel meets Nightingales, maybe. Something had to go down there, and Grave of Flesh just fit nicely for me.
Well, great segue, because my number 8 is also Grave of Flesh, and you have just basically nailed it. I kind of get that Nightingales feel too, and then Gary also mentioning the crazy smells that are probably going to come from this house. Hopefully it's not going to be something that makes anybody ill. We'll see what happens. But I'll keep wanting to reiterate. All 10 houses this year seem pretty damn good. That's all I'm going to say. Like, something has to go somewhere. So anybody listening, we're all apologizing, for our rankings, but what are we going to do? My list is right. Ash's is wrong. So it's okay.
Well, we had 8 the same, so.
But we kind of have similar so far. So this is true. So, all right. So we're moving on to number 7. I'll start number 7 this time. So at number 7, I have Fallout. Oh, okay. No, not Gary. No. All right.
I'm making judging face. I'm judging.
So I think the games are terrible. I don't enjoy them. I've yet to try New Vegas, though. That's the one.
World's
that's
worst
the one
take.
Whoa.
I don't care.
I was muted, so you didn't hear my first, whoa.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the games.
Wow.
But I loved the show. Sorry. I just think Fallout's very boring.
Damn.
But everybody keeps telling me to play New Vegas because it's different than the other ones. So we'll see about that.
Did you play 4 or you only played the first games?
Yeah, the first games.
Fallout 3
then
and
that's
New
why.
Vegas are exactly the same.
3 and
Oh, okay. All right.
3 and
Well,
4
all right.
are
okay.
the.
I will do my homework and I'll at least watch some playthroughs, and if it's something I think I can get into, then maybe I'll actually just
Yeah,
try
Fallout
and play
4
it.
is more like standard video game, like what
That's
you're
fair.
used to. That's why.
Tim's
Yeah,
backtracking on his list. Look,
I'm still keeping it. I'm still keeping Fallout at number 7.
peer pressure.
And the reason, and honestly, it's going to have corn in this house, so that's
yeah, that's
so
valid.
It's got to go a little bit lower. So, Liz, what do you have at number 7?
Okay, number 7 for me, the next IP is Jason Universe. I do have this higher than the other ones because it has been a really long time since we've seen Jason. I kept saying I was ready to see Jason and I was ready to see Freddy back at the event. They're bringing him back. Yes, location's not ideal, but I think if any house is going to go in there, Jason will work. It worked in the Jaws queue back in the day. I am excited because of who designed this house, so I think there's a lot of potential for great scares, and word circulating is that it's the same team that did Insidious as well. So I'm hoping it brings the scares that Insidious had, and they listen to our reviews on everything else, right? We've got so many more props and scare zones. We've got theming everywhere. Hopefully they heard us on how much we love Insidious, and they're bringing the scares.
I like that. All right, Ash, what do you have at number 7?
Number 7 is my second IP. I have Five Nights at Freddy's. Admittedly, I'm not a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I've only played a little bit of the games and couldn't really get into it. I've seen the movie like 3 times, and I'm not a big fan of the movie. I think it's actually pretty slow for what they could do with that. Yeah, I'm intrigued though. I feel like it's going to have a cool facade, maybe going into the pizzeria, Chuck E. Cheese type thing itself, and then a lot of the movie was almost in that one room, in the actual pizzeria. So I don't know. It intrigues me. I'm interested to see how they do like the puppetry, animatronics. Is it costuming? Are they going to mix it up and sort of incorporate all 3? Just because when they did it with Chucky and had little bits of like puppetry, I don't think it worked. So we'll see. I'm intrigued, but yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is 7.
All right, cool. And then Gary, round us up. What do you got for number 7?
Number 7, I have Golkin Monsters of the North. Again, I felt bad putting this low because it does look good. I love the key art. Looking at it, it gives me sort of a Native American sort of vibe with the wolf and then the remote village in the north. That sort of lore like scares me when you're watching ghost investigation stuff, skinwalkers, all that sort of stuff scares me. So could we see something like that? It does intrigue me, but I am happy that this is going to be the Cold House. But it did start higher on my list, but after up to version 5, it did drop down a little bit.
That's fair. All right, we're moving on to number 6. Whoo! All right, Ash, start us off. What's number 6 for you?
Number 6 is Dolls Let's Play Dead. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm loving the sort of how you're a doll and everything's going to be life-size around you. I'm really, really curious how they're going to make that work throughout the house. I've had pretty good experiences with doll houses. I'm thinking Doll House of the Damned, even the orphanage that had that sort of imagery in it too. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be good. But again, this is where it gets a little bit muddy, the middle of the pack, interchangeable on my hype list. But yeah, Dolls Let's Play Dead is number 6 for me.
All right. Gary, what do you have at number 6?
Number 6, I have Friday the 13th, or Jason. Echo what you guys have said. It could be really good or it could be bad based on location, masks, all that sort of stuff. I am happy to see Jason back, but I'd rather just like Friday the 13th, the original again. Campground kills, sort of like, the Yeti scenes vibes, walking through Yeti campground kills, but with Jason mixed into it, just the old school, slasher. But I don't want, anything too crazy, but I think we're going to see see some new stuff, which might not take well to one of the Mount Rushmore slashers.
That's fair. All right, Liz, what do you have at number 6?
So this time, Ash is correct. I have Dolls Let's Play Dead as number 6. And yes, that means that I have an IP before an original, if anyone's out there keeping score. I think of the originals, this one just feels the most played out. Let's Play Dead. But I just feel like we've seen this before. I think it's always effective, but the other concepts for originals are a little more original. I love the little facade that I'm seeing outside, so I'm curious to see what we'll see inside. I did think this was going to be a little nod to Cindy, and it doesn't seem like that is the case. Maybe so. We'll get a little Easter egg. I think we've seen it at the event before. Hopefully there's a new twist on it and it'll jump up my list. But for now, it's at number 6.
All right. So I have not done my 6. I have Five Nights at Freddy's at number 6. I am actually very intrigued about this house. I never really played the games, never have really watched any walkthroughs. I know it's like a jump scare type of game. Maybe that's why I enjoyed the movie a little bit more, because I didn't really have that background. I just went into it just watching the movie. You know, I'm a fan of Matthew Lillard. I was just like, I need to watch it. So maybe that's why I enjoyed it more. But I am so excited that like the Jim Henson Company is involved in all of this. And I cannot wait to see whatever we're getting. Animatronics, puppets, whatever costumes. I think this has a possibility of jumping up my list. This is more of, I'm so intrigued on how they're going to do this house and what exactly is going to be in it. So that's why I put it at number 6. So, oh man, we're in the top 5 now.
Now it gets dangerous.
Now the fighting begins. You know what, Gary? Let's have you start. What do you got at number 5?
At number 5, I have Five Nights at Freddy's. Didn't play any of the games. Never really took an interest in it until it was announced. Watched the movie. It wasn't a great movie. The last 15 minutes of the movie, though, I thought were brilliant. Really, really good. Nice twist. But I think it's going to be one of those movies that will translate much better into a house. Very interested to see, animatronics and costumes, and I love the whole, old school pizzeria kids area with the neon and all that sort of stuff. It reminds me of the arcade bit of the tribute store that they had last year, the summer tribute store. So I hope we get to see, that bright carpetry and the UV backlit and all that sort of stuff. So I think we're in for a fun time with this one.
Nice. All right, Liz, what you got at number 5?
Number 5, I have Fallout. So my final IP. This is definitely the IP I'm most excited for. I had limited Fallout knowledge prior to this announcement. I had seen the game before, was kind of familiar with the story of the game, had not watched the show. And then I did my Halloween Horror Nights homework. Everyone said I would love the show. They were right. I did. The aesthetic is 100% my vibe. Very 1950s, 60s, mid-century modern on top of, apocalyptic type stuff. I cannot wait to see some of the scenes. I feel like as I was watching the show, I was just taking notes like, yep, that'll be in the show. Oh, that would be a great way to do a scare. So I think it has a ton of potential. I can't wait to see the characters, all the Easter eggs, because this house is going to be filled with Easter eggs. And I've gotten into the game since then too. So I think this is the one I have the most attachment to, but probably the most expectations going into as well. So hopefully it stays high on my list.
Nice. Love it. All right, Ash, what do you have at number 5?
Number 5, I have the Demon Bounty Hunters, Hatchet and Chains. Really, really looking forward to this one. I was a little bit annoyed that they spoiled the facade for me and parts of the maze. But if we can sort of get Curse of Lightning Gulch levels, but incorporated into this with the... what's the adversary? And is it the lava demons in there? I'm curious to see how they look. But I love that sort of Western vibe, and it's not something they do a lot of. So if they can get that ghost town aesthetic, incorporate it into here, but make it different enough to be more enjoyable. Right in the middle, Hatchet and Chains. Really, really looking forward to this one.
Well, sure enough, I also have Hatchet and Chains at number 5. So
I can't wait to tell you guys you were wrong at the end of the season.
listen, I mean, things just got to go somewhere, you know. But I'm actually kind of excited to see what they do with this. I'm very lucky. I still have not seen anything because I have tried my best to try and stay off of social media as best I can because I don't want to see. And what happened? They showed the facade and something in the house?
Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, that justifies your placement at number 5 if you haven't seen that, though. So I'll give you that much.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. That's what, number 5. It probably was not my favorite room in Slaughter Cinema 2 as well. Gary, I think I mentioned that earlier. But I am very excited because I think, just like Ash said, if this is like Ghost Town level, then this could be a really, really an amazing house. So, all right. We're going to number 4. Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'm going to start number 4 this time. I have Dolls Let's Play Dead at number 4. I understand why Lloyd, Liz, and you have it lower. You've seen this before. I haven't seen enough of Dolls, and I think Dolls are just creepy as hell to begin with. So I have a feeling and a hope that maybe this will be a very scary house as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun house as well. Gives me, what was it, Puppet Theater or whatever?
Yeah, Puppet Theater.
Yeah, it gives me that kind of vibe as well. So, and that was kind of a fun house as well.
That was a great maze too, yeah.
Yeah, so. Gary, what do you have at number 4, sir?
I also have the same at number 4. Like you, I never got to see Dollhouse of the Damned. Very intrigued with the theme. Like you say, dolls are creepy, and I think this could either be a terrifying house or I think it's going to be this year's silly fun house. I would love to see both takes on it. I would love to see, dark, really creepy, but I'd also like to see some like bright colours and playful stuff inside the house as well.
Nice. Ash, what do you have at number 4?
Number 4, I wish this was a little bit higher for me. I have Fallout. Love the property. I have played and completed all the games. I love the TV show, so it's a big property for me. I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to go through the vault. I know they mentioned you're going to go through Philly too. Now, that is going to be, in my opinion, very sort of Carnival Graveyard. Just things everywhere, you know?
Sure.
And then the Wasteland, and even going through like Super Duper Mart, where you can sort of pick out all the Easter eggs from the games and the show. One thing for the games too, they have the bobbleheads you can collect as well. Is there going to be a bobblehead in every sort of scene where you have to sort of pick out as maybe an Easter egg too? That'll be cool. A little Vault Boy sort of bobblehead will be cool. But yeah, I'm very big on this franchise anyway. I'm going to be honest with you though, just for the properties we've got, this is your hype list, what I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't think it may be in the upper echelons towards the end, if I'm being honest with myself, but for pure hype, number 4 for me.
All right, cool. And then Liz, round us up for what your number 4 house is.
Yeah, my number 4 is Grave of Flesh. I know it was very low on everyone else's list, but for me, again, you guys know I'm an originals girl. Those are going to go higher for me just by default as far as hype. Whether or not they end there at the end of the season is another story, but hype-wise, I'm always more excited to see this original take of something that I have no idea what I'm about to walk into. And I think that's why it's at number 4, because this one I feel like we have the least idea. We have the one little image, barely a little blurb, and I can't quite grasp what the storyline of this one's going to be. I do think it's going to be a smelly house, so I do think you guys are right about that. I'm envisioning walking in kind of like the Poltergeist, where you're going underground, like you're seeing yourself being buried, you're going underground, and then I don't know what happens after that. I cannot picture what's going to happen, and that's why it's number 4, but I'm also really excited because I have no idea what I'm walking into. So
Nice.
Yeah, number 4.
All right, cool. Wow. We're here, kids. We got the top 3 now. Top 3. And if you've been keeping track, I would imagine that somebody might be surprised what is in my top 3. So we'll get to that momentarily. Liz, give us what's number 3, Liz? Let's start us off.
Okay. Kind of on the same vein. My number 3 is Gulkin, which was low for some of you. I think because the art seems so similar to what we saw at Ghostbusters last year that it's at number 3 for me. The rest of it, I'm very intrigued by. I love mythology. I think, if it's going to be a cold winter house or whatever is happening in there, I'm excited to see that. And there's a lot of potential, but the other two are just ones that I'm way more excited for. So it had to go at number 3. I'm hoping that I fall in love with it once I go into it.
That's fair. Gary, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is Terrifier.
I'm shocked.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the first movie was one of the worst movies I have ever seen. Ever. But art is art. Quote of the century. I think the character himself is fantastic. He's a totally different spin on a slasher, like figuratively and real. He just takes it to a whole other level. The second movie I actually enjoyed. I thought the storyline was pretty good. Some really gruesome kills, and I've heard 3 is even worse. And it is on the list to watch, but I'm very excited to see this as a house because I think, I don't know how to word it, but Horror Nights over the last few years has gotten a little bit softer and a little bit less, on the intense scares. There's no way they can do this house without bringing the heat. I think we're going to get Insidious style scares, but with some disgusting kills and a lot of gore. And the fact you can choose that they've brought the split path back is very exciting. So you've got to go through the wet path at least once just to see you've done it. But I think it's a one and done, and the Crocs will be going in sport mode for that one.
Nice. All right, Ash, what do you have at number 3?
Number 3. Yeah, as RIP tour guide Gary once said, art is art. Terrifier is at number 3. My 1, 2, and 3 have changed so many times. It's art as the icon himself. I mean, we don't get any slasher icons anymore. It just doesn't exist. So he is so popular, and the movies are, I don't know, Gary may understand this, very Marmite. You love it or you hate it. And it gives me that, like you said, Tim, the House of a Thousand Corpses vibe, where not everybody, it's sort of an acquired taste, the movie, but the house is just going to be a home run. I don't see any scenario where this house doesn't slap. It's just, I feel like the creative team, Damien Leone's on it, like he's got a big fingerprint on it as well. We're going to see every single kill of art. I do like the unique element of the sort of wets getting drenched with, blood in quote marks. And I don't know, it's just going to, I feel like it's a home run. He can't, he just can't lose this one. But yeah, the other 2 I'm a little bit more hyped for. So yeah, it falls in nicely at 3. Yep.
All right, I'll round up number 3. So I'm actually surprised at myself that this is my number 3. So my number 3 is The Horrors of the Wyatt Six. I am so intrigued by this house and these characters. I really knew nothing about it. I watched the Bray Wyatt documentary. It was such a great watch. Now I have a little better understanding in the characters. And then if you guys got to see our video that was up for 23 hours about the Wyatt Six, that was actually really good for me. I did the lines for it, Ash put it all together, but it was nice to just read through that and actually even, comprehend some more of the history of it. And because Mike Aiello is involved, and this is probably, if I had to guess, one of his biggest passion pieces this year for this event, I feel like this house has probably gotten so much love. Not that the other houses didn't. I'm not saying that. But I just feel like there's just a little extra something for this house. So I'm even surprised myself because I'm not a huge wrestling fan. I used to watch it back in the day when I was younger too. If it's on, I'll watch it. But I'm not like a crazy huge fanatic. But I think I'm just very intrigued by this house and what it could bring. So that's my number 3. Ash, what do you got at number 3?
Terrifier.
I'm sorry. I finished number 3. What am I talking about? So now we're going to 2.
You want me to do 2?
Yeah, take number 2. What's your number 2 house? My bad. Sorry.
He's that scared to do the 1 and 2. He's just going to keep looking through.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, number 2 for me is WWE, The Horrors of the White Six. Tim, I think you nailed it. I mean, it's a passion piece for Mike, for Ramon, for anybody who's got a touch on this. And the WWE are super on board with it as well. I know they've recorded some video, never seen before video for the house too. Is that going to be in the queue line? Is it going to be in the house itself? So when they want to do something, it's almost like they've got this property and they've said to themselves, well, if we're going to do it, we have to do it right. We've got to do everything we can possibly to make this house work. I'm happy it's getting a soundstage. Yeah. I'm a big wrestling fan. I understand why it's low on a lot of people's lists, but again, it's your hype list. It's what you're most excited for. I'm a big wrestling fan. Horrors of the White Six, number 2. Cannot wait.
Love it. I love it. And I feel like, I know there was a tweet somewhere like years ago where Bray Wyatt had said like, yeah, I'm there. Let's make this happen. Or, whenever it's, something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I feel like Mike and Ramon probably took that to heart and want to make sure that they honor him and this house to him, if that makes sense.
Agreed. Yeah.
So, all right. Liz, what's that your number 2?
Okay, I am in the minority here with Hatchet and Chains as my number 2. I was also in the minority where I actually loved this scene in Slaughter Cinema 2. Early on, when the effect was still working, I loved the demon getting pulled back. And I thought that the next scene, the actors that were there were also always super aggressive, which I really enjoyed. I felt like I was always nervous turning that corner. And I just love a Western house. I love that setting. I loved Lightning Gulch. I think there's a lot of potential there. And I think this is going to be our light comedy house. Slaughter Cinema's comedy, this tone could easily be Western, but silly, kind of like Lightning Gulch was. And I do love a comedy house. Then on top of it, we know who designed it. And unfortunately, I got a little spoiled the other day, which it may have influenced my list a little bit. Hatchet and Chains may have jumped up my list a little bit from what I saw.
Okay.
So I think this one has a ton of potential to be scenic, funny, and scary.
Nice. Love it. Love it. All right, Gary. What you got at number 2, sir?
Number 2, I have El Artista, a Spanish haunting.
No, I thought...
Liz is very shocked at that.
I thought we were all going to have the same number 1. I really did.
Very, very excited for this house. It's going to be stunning. It's going to be a beautiful house. Same designer as was it Blood Moon and Dead Man's Pier or Wake. Both stunning houses to walk through. I think the storyline's fantastic. What we heard at the Spooky Empire panel was great as well. The whole when they brought the actor out and elaborated on the story more, I loved that. So very, very excited to see this house.
Liz, I am so sorry to disappoint you, but I also have El Artista at number 2 as well. Wow. But I'm going to be honest. I feel like my top 3 could interchange. So it was just kind of a tough choice. Basically, everything that Gary said, and I think the fact that they brought it to the Spooky Empire, how much they love this one to be the first, right? That was the first original they announced, right? Was El Artista. So I'm very excited. Yes, we know who designed it, and I think it's going to be a stunning house as well. So yeah, El Artista at number 2. All right, did I get everybody on that one?
Yep, that brings us to
so we're at number 1, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'll go at number 1 because I'm sure you guys are not surprised, but my number 1 is Gulkin, Monsters of the North. I'm hoping this is the Cold House. Even if it's not, I'm excited about it. Mythology. This is going to be, some kind of Nordic themed, I think, in this house. I think Gary's also right that it kind of gives us vibes of, like Indian Village, that kind of thing. And I just want to see what this brings. I know the artwork kind of looks like, the Ghostbusters, monster, and I'm just like, that's okay. I'm all about this, and I want to see how they make this, because they talked about fjords. I want to see if, like, how they're going to do this. Like, is that going to be the facade? You know, we start walking, through a fjord, or is this like the house is the fjord? I love that kind of stuff. So, Galkin, my number one. I'm pretty sure that you guys are not surprised about that. So,
Yeah, you've been pretty hyped.
yeah. So, who am I picking to see next for their number one? Let's go, Gary. What's your number one?
Well, it's pretty obvious at this point, but my number one is Fallout. Like Lizz, the whole, 50s, 60s Americana is just such my vibe. Just can't wait to walk through those sets. And I absolutely love the TV show. I was hooked from episode 1. I didn't really enjoy the game as much. I did start playing, I think, Fallout 4. Found it a little bit slow. Maybe it's a game that I need to put more hours in, but I still love the theme and the vibe, so can't wait.
Excellent. All right, Liz, what you got at number one?
Well, I mean, Ash and I are clearly the right ones, having El Artista as number one. This one, just from the announcement, I was hooked, and I had a pretty good feeling this is probably going to be number one, stay number one for me as far as hype. I think the concept is so new. The idea of these paintings coming to life, attacking him. We've got the conservatory that they described. We've got the vibe of that house taking over the entire park. We've got gothic feelings. We know the set designer is absolutely amazing, which is why his houses are my number 1 and 2. I think there's so much potential here, and that's excluding the too much information that they've given out that I'm not even going to repeat, because they kind of already spoiled some things that are going to be in there that have me very excited. So I will be shocked if this one isn't in my top 5 at the end. I know last year Museum was my number 1 and I was very wrong.
Oh boy. You were.
I know.
Me and Liz both.
I'll never live it down. But this year I have faith. I think El Artista is that house.
All right. We'll see. All right, Ash, you obviously have that at number 1 as well, so give us your thoughts.
Yeah, very similar. As soon as it was announced at Spooky, very, very high on this sort of theme. It's going to be part of the theming for the whole event too. Sergio Navarro is on the Artist Series print too, and some of maybe the monsters you see inside. It gives me very Wyandotte Estate meets the In-Between sort of vibes too, from some of the creatures that you see on the Artist Series. My biggest thought with this maze, it's going to be stunning. It's going to be visually immersive. It's going to be stunning. Some of the effects that they've promised as well are very rare effects that they've done in the past that they're going to bring back too. So the only thing is, it's my number 1 because I'm so hyped about it, but please bring the scares along with it. If they get that side of it, because it's going to be beautiful. If they can get the scares with it, this could be an all-timer potential. I'm so hyped for this one.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We've done it. We have done the hype list episode. How about that, guys?
I'm
Nobody killed each other.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. I mean, I'm not surprised given the content this year, but I'm amazed at just how different our lists are.
Yeah.
Very.
Because I think every other year that we've done this as the 4 of us, at least 2 of us have been very aligned or very close.
Yeah, for sure.
This it's all over the place this year.
It really
100%.
is. Yeah.
And I think this year shows that there's something for everyone due to how different our lists are. Normally, like you say, we're very, similar because of going down one path the event takes, but there's that much for everyone this year that I think it's going to be an all-round solid year.
Yeah, I agree. Man. How many days are we out? Anybody got a count?
12? 12? 11?
Dang. That's crazy.
12.
This is nuts. Yeah.
12 days out.
That
Wait,
is wild.
It's 10 days from employee preview, isn't it? The Wednesday?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Wow. We're here, guys.
Crazy.
We're here. We did the hype episode. Woo! All right. Any last things we need to tie up before we get out of here?
I don't know. I'm hyped.
Yeah, same.
I'm hyped.
Don't forget, we will be going live one more time before the event this Thursday. Are we doing 8 o'clock again?
Yeah, we
Looking
can
at you,
we can
Ash.
probably do it in good time. Yeah, 8 o'clock's probably fine.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but we'll let you know if anything changes. I know we put it out as 8:30, but we might go at 8. So, but we'll send out a link and stuff in time for that kind of thing if we change it as well. Man, you guys ready? You guys ready for this event or what?
So ready.
Yeah, not much
So,
left now.
Overall, the event is very exciting. So, like, what's the hype level for everything, like, for this event this year? Ash, what about you? Like, how you feeling?
You mean on like a scale like 1 to 10?
Yeah, scale of 1 to 10. Like, how you feeling about the event overall?
Yeah, I mean, it gets the luxury of coming off the back of probably one of the weakest years we've had ever. Like, not recently, but ever. So maybe that skewing it a little bit. I don't know, but I'm gonna say like a 9. You know, I don't want to go.
I like
to
that.
Full 10.
I like that. Yeah. What about you, Liz?
I think I'm always at a full 10 before the event. I think no matter what, I'm always at like a 10 hype.
I get
but
that.
This year especially, it's like a legit 10 where I think everything is coming together. The house content I'm super excited for. The Scare Zone content I'm excited for. The amount of construction and thought that it feels like was put into this event.
Yeah.
I think it's a legit, an earned 10, I'll say. An earned 10.
That's fair. All right, Gary, what about you?
Yeah, I think usually we have each something that we're more excited for, whether it be houses or zones. I think this year is a very strong all-rounder year from the sounds of it. There's nothing that really stands out where I want to spend more time. So I'm very excited to experience the event as a whole, where, you know, the last couple of years it's mainly been about the houses, but I think, you know, the creatives have really listened and took a step back and, you know, took the feedback and everything that all the fans have said, and they've said, you know what, we're gonna put this right and give you the event that we are known for. And they've listened and they've just went so big. And to think that we're getting this when it's an anniversary year next year is absolutely wild. So
Yeah.
you know, if the event's
Great
this
point.
strong, what are we going to get next year?
Great point. I'm with you guys. I want to be at 10, but I'm not there yet because we're not there yet. So I'm at like that 9.5, and I know like I work the day Thursday, and then once I'm done working, you know, then it's going to go to a 10 plus because I'm going to be on my way to Universal and for opening weekend, and I can't wait. There's just really no other feeling like opening weekend at HHN. Gary, I hope one of these years you do decide to eventually just come over. I know why you don't, and I understand that totally. You have multiple reasons, but I really hope for your sake just to experience that one time, you know, that opening weekend, because I feel like you'd be like on such a high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. One year we'll have to experience open
for sure.
weekend.
All right, but other than that, we don't really have anything else. HHN is going to be here. We're going to see you guys in the fog. I have received the buttons, so we have buttons this year. And I'm going to be honest, the Chase button this year I think is probably one of our best, but I'm going to tell you it is super, super limited. We did not get a lot of these. So we might have to figure out something more than a password this year. Maybe it'll be a trivia question. I don't know.
I was just about to say, I think we should do a trivia question.
Yeah.
I think we need to make it a little more difficult this year because there's not as many as I got for the Chase last year. So just putting that out there. And I'll be nice. I will take care of this. So you guys can find us at RAP Tour Podcast on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, Instagram, Threads that we never use, Blue Sky that are never use. We have Discord. We have the YouTube. We have a Spreadshirt. You know, we appreciate any support for there. We did not have any new designs this year. I think by the time we realized it was just way too late to get a design set. So we apologize for that there is no new merch this year. But, you know, you can still get a hat, you can get a hoodie, a shirt, whatever. It's still up there. Gary, I'll talk. Maybe we can run some kind of special or something before, you know, opening of HHN. I don't know how that works with Spreadshirt. We could talk about that, but maybe we can run some kind of little discount or something.
Me and Ash were actually talking about changing from Spreadshirt because we noticed that the prices are pretty expensive.
Okay,
and we don't want to feel like we're ripping, you know, listeners and fans off. So we want to try and give stuff for the cheapest price we can. So I think we might have to steer away. So if anyone knows any suggestions,
Okay, fair.
Drop us a DM on Instagram or Twitter, and we can migrate over and get the best quality and the best deals for everyone.
Love it. But that's it. Seriously, guys, opening weekend is almost upon us. If you see any of us in the park, please come say hi. We'll have buttons. We'll talk to you, even if we don't have buttons left or whatever. I do have old stuff left from the previous years that I will divvy up to all of us. So, even if we do run out of certain things, hopefully we can cover it up with, button stickers. I don't know what else I have left. I'm looking at the bags on the floor right now, and I was just like, I have no idea what's in there, but I'll figure it out. All right, last chance. Ash, anything before we get out of here?
No. Oh, one thing. I am going to the opening of the Tribute Store and the Coven Dead Coconut Club a week on Tuesday.
Oh, sick. Awesome.
They're both on the same day, which is nice. So
okay, good.
Go there.
Good.
Yep.
Nice. And Liz, anything from you?
That's what we should have put. My number one hyped item is Coven at Dead Coconut Club. We didn't talk about that, but yes, that was actually my number one.
Liz will be rope dropping every night.
Yep. See you guys there. See you at
And then
Coven.
Gary, anything from you, sir?
Give me the food and drink.
Oh, yeah, dude. I really wish they would just drop that already. That's the only thing that we have not seen yet,
Those
which is
menus.
unfortunate. I know.
Yep.
I've got nothing else. Like I said, we have the live stream on Thursday. That'll probably be the last time you hear from us before HHN starts. We probably will do an opening weekend recap episode. Gary,
Spoiler free.
Yeah, spoiler free, and I apologize, Gary. I know because you're not going to be there. But then we will also try to do some things throughout this season. Hopefully, some different things. Hopefully, we will go live from HHN this year when the four of us are actually all together. We keep talking about that. In the live streams, Gary, a lot of people have asked us also about a meetup at some point as well. We've talked about that for the last couple of years and haven't done it. So maybe this year is the year we can, designate like a meetup spot for an hour or so, just to kind of chill out, maybe on City Walk, get a drink with everybody, hang out, chill,
You know
talk.
where Liz is
Coven.
Oh yeah, Coven. Right. And did you say that it's opening at 4 this year? But we don't believe that, right?
No, it's the opposite. So the past 2 years it's opened at 4. This year it says it's opening at 5. I don't know what the reality is.
I mixed that up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's cool. But other than that, yeah, we're going to see you all in the fog. And until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.